Alright, we back again real quick. Listen. Listen. My father, first of all, my name is Dr. Life. I'm in the business of saving lives. I'm a first responder. We respond to unnatural man-made disasters. You know, like the Coast Guard. Like the Coast Guard for man-made disasters on humanity. We're the Coast Guard for inhumanity. We're the first responders for the inhumane society. We call it code, capitalizing on dehumanization economically. We call the people that we recruit code enforcers, capitalizing on dehumanization economically. All right, and so listen up to me. Obviously, we're getting something right. Obviously. Because they say that if you take the average of the 5 closest people around you, if you take the average and you average everybody's income, what up, 6'4"? Lane Moore, what up, bro? What up, family? I'm about to give y'all a $200 million dream that came true. So this young lady, her name is Lorraine Watkins. This young lady called me up, I would say 2-3 weeks ago. And Lorraine, what up, bro? Lorraine was like, listen, have you ever heard of Holton bugs? Have you ever heard of Holton bugs? That's right, 777. Yeah, 6'4". You on point tonight. You on point. Don't ever come back with that 705 nonsense again. We 777 here, yo. But Lorraine said, yo, do you know who Holton Bugs is? Now, for those of y'all who don't know, Holton Bugs is an individual who was raised in the slums of Tampa, Florida. Slums of Tampa, Florida. Look, just like he is us. All right? I'm trying to tell y'all, the United States of America is the only place where this is happening at. And this is why they gunning for us. There are no other people on the planet who have gone to every continent and caused the continent to flourish. Ivan Fields, what up, big bro? What's good, homie? There is no other people. When the word says nation, kindred, tongue, and people, from the time where we were just one people, then we became clans because of being fruitful and multiplying. Then the clans got the tongue divided when some knuckleheads in the family decided they wanted to go astray. Nation, kindred is the clans, tongues, people, original people, and it's coming up. We were people. We had a tongue, the mother tongue. We had kindreds or clans. Then we became many nations. Abraham, I will make you the father of many nations because you've been scattered, because y'all became knuckleheads. And in the scattering process, there is only one family, one root family that has gone. Andre Grace. Woof. What up, bro? There is only one root that has been out to the far east of China. Adam's daughter. down to the southern tip of South Africa and off into the Pacific Ocean. The Queen of the South, Queen of Sheba. On out to as far out west. There is only one group of people on the planet who have touched every single landmass and caused it to flourish and prosper. And then there is only one other group of people who the Creator said, you're going to be a restless wanderer. Restless wanderer. What does colonialism look like to you? It looks just like restless wandering to me. What does the land look like whenever the colonizers get finished with it? It looks exactly the way that God said it would when he said the blood of Abel cries from the ground. So the division between fruitfulness and barrenness has been established from the very beginning. And they can talk about the Middle East. There ain't gonna be no war in the Middle East. They gunning for your head. They gunning for you and your prosperity. And right here under your nose, everywhere we turn, there are our people like Holton Bugs who took an opportunity and created $100 million in revenue off of one position, off of a one specific work ethic. Only person in history in direct sales. Now, why am I focusing on direct sales? Because they created this capitalistic system that is just designed to put all of those individuals who can't prosper on their own in the middle of a supply chain. And they are the middlemen taking cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts of everything when they cannot prosper on their own. And the reason we love direct sales is because direct sales cuts out the middleman. If you got the ability and the gift of gab and the grind and the hustle and the dedication and the determination and the fundamentals, and you have the ability to go out and get a product and find somebody who needs that product and then meet that need, that is direct sales. No middleman, no in between, no cut after cut after cut after cut. And this man from the hood in Tampa, Florida, took some coffee. It ain't even about the coffee. He took coffee, y'all, and made $100 million off of coffee. Then took the $100 million and then invested in other stuff, and now is sitting on $200 million. Now, in April of 2017, I sat my then 19-year-old son down. This is my son's handwriting. I took him to a video of Holton Bugs with Eric Worre out in Las Vegas doing a training on his 90-day game plan on how he took a product and the work ethic that he applied to the product to generate $100 million. And I just took the product out of the equation, and I sat my son down and I said, son, if you can develop the work ethic, if you can develop the grind, the product doesn't matter, son. The product don't matter. Like I'm because we grind because we grind to break the cycle. This is what our family does, right? So we believe that you can't approach individuals who are at the least of these among us and tell them to stop selling drugs, to tell them to get off the corner, to tell them to stop prostituting themselves. You don't got a right to tell nobody to do nothing, because our Creator ain't do that. Creator ain't never break out with a Bible study. Our Creator ain't never start off with, yo, come to church with me. Yo, come to this 10 effort. No, the Creator met the need. Demon possessed? Okay, the demon gonna be gone. Okay, you're blind? Yo, the blindness gonna be gone. You can't walk? So, that told me to train my family to meet needs. And what is business? All business is finding individuals who have a need or who desire something and then meeting that need. It's the same exact concept. We just decided that we wanted to be in the business of our Father's business, like the Son of God was in the same business. We want to be in the Good Samaritan business. But because I knew that our family can't be dependent on grants, because then the federal government want to tell you what to do. Can't be dependent on no companies, because the bosses is only going to pay you enough to keep you enslaved on their job, building wealth for them. So a whole year ago, I'm teaching my son the principles based off of Holton bugs. And because we've been so faithful in doing what we've been doing, Lorraine, who has made thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in a whole nother company, when she got attached to Holton Bugs, she called me. And so now, a year later, now my son can actually apply the training that he has already received a year earlier to a business model that is connected directly from the man himself, Holton Bugs. And he was just in town in Orlando the other day, and of course I went. And just like what happened when I went and saw Thomas Felder. We don't believe in playing around, because people is dying daily. So we're going to apply the same mentality with Lorraine, with Holton. And I'm passing the mantle to my son and my daughters. And they have a team of young people now who are 21 and 22 and 23 and 24. And I'm telling them, you already have multi-million-dollar blueprints.
That's a goal to set. Listen, this next person who I want to ask to come up is actually the guy who introduced me to financial freedom.
So once again, this is an event that was revealed to me when I was introduced to this man by a totally different individual. And I asked Thomas the first time I met him in Orlando, Florida, I said, bruh, if you could train me, it ain't nothing I can't learn. And the only reason why I'm here is to break cycles in the lives of my people. I'm just here to pass something along. And if you could pass down a blueprint that's going to change the lives of these people, I'm going to run with you. And a few months later, I made a phone call to my main man, E.T. When I met Thomas, I was like, listen, man, these cats is playing your motivational videos. These cats is up in the presentations talking about, yo, if you got a why, if you know anything about E.T., one of his most popular videos was, what's your why? So they were using the inspiration in their company already to motivate their people to believe that they could achieve success. So I saw an opportunity. I'm like, yo, if what would happen if I just put you in the room, ET? I'm like, these cats is hungry, and they people is hungry, and they already using your videos. Let's get in the room, bro. I'm here to tell y'all, our goal is to erase the damage and the effects that has happened on the attack of the family. And there's no greater way for us to inspire families to go to the level where God wants you to go in that covenant. There's no greater way than going out and recruiting an army of husbands and wives who look like you who are doing it. And then to get a $200 million couple and bring them to the table, you have no excuse. What I'm telling you is, you got direct access to a group of individuals, my father, Pastor Myra Edmonds, and Devon Franklin, Eric Thomas, and my wife and I are celebrating our 23rd wedding anniversary in May as well. And so from May through August, we're running a From Contract to Covenant Empowerment series and a economic to erase that curse of, yo, the number one thing destroying families is what? Finances. When we give couples the fundamentals to go from covenant to contract, and then we give you the blueprints to financially do what these people do, this next couple you about to see, females, even if you single, females, if you are single, raising children, I have a woman here from Baltimore, Maryland. Y'all know what Baltimore look like. Single parent mom, Baltimore, Maryland. Tashina Pettiford. She probably won't tell you. But at this time, she was making 10 figures a year. This was a vision that I saw when my wife said, yo, why everybody else community can get together and put together collective giving back programs to create a pipeline for success and upward mobility. Why everybody else can do it? I'm telling you, there is not a desire that she let go out of her that we haven't gone and gotten. There has not been a wish for meeting needs, a door that has not been opened, no matter how grand a scale. And this time we trying to take it, listen, we trying to do 1,600 couples. We call it the Havillionaire Matchmaker Club. Havillionaire. That's when you get that gold tried in the fire. Let me show you this couple.
How about that? I didn't know him. I was a stranger. I was in his house and I was sitting there angry.
Hold up. This dude powerful too. I gotta put y'all in the room. Listen, man. These
And some people, I would say, whatever John's going to do, I'm going to do the opposite. How about that? Right? You got to find a way to succeed, and that's one of my mentors. And I just figured, what can I do to be more like Stan every day? How about that? Right? That's a goal to set. Listen, this next person who I want to ask to come up is actually the guy who introduced me to financial freedom. How about that? I didn't know him. I was a stranger. I was in his house and I was sitting there angry. I was mad every minute he was speaking. And even though I was angry and upset, I wasn't crazy. Right? And some of y'all understand what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm sitting there saying, I ain't doing this. This is crazy. And I heard something in the back of my brain saying, just do it. Give it a shot. What you got to lose? What you're doing right now ain't working. And some of y'all got to understand, you got to start listening to that little voice. Right? Otherwise, you're going to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over. And I am so grateful I listened to that voice. And I'm so grateful that the guy who was once a stranger is now one of my best friends.
I gotta let y'all know, the man talking right now, he was an attorney. He was an attorney. He was the attorney for BET that brokered the deal when Bob Johnson sold BET to Viacom. This man was the attorney that did all of the paperwork. And when he walked away from BET, he walked away with a considerable sum of money, but put it into real estate prior to 2008 and 2009. And when the bubble burst, and y'all better listen to me, man. Y'all better listen to me. Because there's another financial crisis coming. And I'm telling you, there are people who were. He had his own law practice. He had his own portfolio of real estate all throughout Maryland. And the bubble burst was so severe that he was so far in debt underwater that he needed financial freedom. And if an attorney with a practice, with real estate portfolio, wife, children, everything, if he was drowning, this is what I'm trying to get my people to listen, man. This Trump charade is going on for a reason. They are trying to hit the reset button. They are trying to corner all of the wealth, and America keeps popping up with individuals like this. So we're trying to launch a harvest of individuals, so much so that they can't shut it down. We're trying to, in such a short amount of time, do an economic empowerment and a family home empowerment explosion that no matter what they do in these man-made artificial disasters, it will not affect our community. And if you don't have that plan in place, if you still going down to that 9 to 5, when this next bubble hits, if Thomas was in trouble, y'all listen. From May to August, we throwing the kitchen sink at families and economic empowerment. Families and economic empowerment. And we've done our research. We've been with these billionaires, and we've been in a financial club with Robert Kiyosaki since the mid-90s. And Robert Kiyosaki has written book after book after book. And his team has done countless that say 2019, 2020, you won't see 2021 before a tremendous financial crisis hits again. So if you don't have at least 6 months reserves. At least 6 months. If you ain't sitting on at least $100,000 in savings, and it needs to be in alternative currency this time. Why you think they done created a whole Bitcoin market on y'all? Why you think they done created a whole nother separate Forex market? Cause when the dollar bill becomes toilet tissue, I'm trying to tell y'all, yo, it is not a game right now. And we're not trying to see none of our family members, none of our loved ones scarred. But in order for the team to win the championship, this is not an individual. It's never been an individual sport for us. We could have been rolled off into the sunset on some individual. Listen, for this team to win, everybody got to buy into the playbook. Everybody got to show up to practice. Everybody got to do the skills and drills. You can't be the weak link. You can't be the weak link. When it's time to do layups, you got to do your layups. When it's time to play D, you got to, listen, man, you got to cover your, you got to cover your man. Your man can't be putting up 30. You can't be following and chasing these clowns. That's killing you. Let me show you this couple, yo. Marty and Israel win.
He's not somebody who I know I can always count on. He's somebody who motivates me, gets me up, even when I don't feel like getting up, so I can be better in this business. And it's not just that, he's got a wife who's a powerhouse. How about that? Dynamic duo, right? Forget Batman and Robin with the Batman and Batwoman, right? We got our own personal Barack and Michelle. And he's a winner because everybody used to talk about him and his wife used to be in the background. And I was telling them lately everybody talks about his wife and he in the background, right? And you can't complain about having a wife with a six-pack. That ain't a bad thing. Well, listen, guys, do me a favor. Put your hands together for my good friend and my mentor, his wife as well, Marty and Israel Wynn.
Don't forget I can fight too, right? Well, how's everyone doing this evening?
Yo, for the sake of time, yo, this dynamic duo, yo, 6-time championship boxer, fought with Layla Ali, 6-time world championship boxer, multi-millionaires. He had a high school diploma and opened up barbershops, started promoting. He met his wife promoting fights with Don King. Then they parlayed what they was doing financially into this opportunity with Thomas as well and became multimillionaires. I'm just telling you, we have scoured the globe to find our people. And the greatest thing about this group of individuals that I'm dealing with is every last one of them wants to see their communities. The most beautiful thing about this team that we joined, I've never seen more couples. And I've never seen more multi-million-dollar couples. And I've never seen them giving back like these individuals give back. For the sake of time, I can't show it all right now, but that's their story. I'm going to the $200 million winner. And I'm telling y'all right now, there's an opportunity right now to plug in and run with a individual who has made $200 million and is now poised to launch a $1 billion plus company. And when you add the the relationship principles that we're going to lay out, and you merge them with these financial principles, you're going to be untouchable. Let's get Holton bugs for y'all. My lady Lorraine has a whole team in place to support everything that we doing. My father, E.T., we had the curriculums and everything in place to literally give you a 90-day game plan that turns into 4 90-day game plans. That's a year. And then the 4 90-day game plans are embedded in a 5-year business plan that's custom around the club. So we approach our finances and our relationships the same way that we approach joining Gold's Gym, joining any other gym. Like the Europeans go to the country club and play polo. We come to this club and we practice dominion, being fruitful and multiplying, replenishing the earth and subduing it. Not polo. Dominion. All y'all gotta do is plug in. Where the Holton Bugs video at? Was it on this channel or the other channel? Might be the other channel. Hold on. It's the other channel. There he is. Let's get it. The man Holton Bugs. This is what I showed my son. April of 2017. I told him, yo, we're gonna run with this dude. I'm in April of 2018. And now here it is, 2019, a year later. I just met the dude a week ago. And Lorraine is building something phenomenal in Camden, New Jersey. Listen up, family. In Camden, New Jersey. I'm on my way home tomorrow. I'll be there all weekend. I'm going to get with Lorraine. We're going to plug in some people. We're going to get down to business. And y'all ladies and y'all couples and y'all better plug in.
Come on. Believing it. Once you start believing, you got to put the actions in. You got to do the work. Whatever the work is, you got to put the work in. Put the work in. This is net work marketing. It's not net sit marketing. It's not net play marketing. It's not net think about it marketing. It's not net one day I'll get to it marketing. It's net work marketing. And most people miss the W, the work part. Net work marketing. I work my butt off. I can tell you right now, Now, remember, it's not just work. You got to be productive, not just active. You got to be productive. I'll tell you why I make what I make today. I'm gonna write this down. This is my schedule when I first started. Okay, my first day. It was because of what I did day one, not because of what I've done over the last 2 years. I set the example. See, everybody want to take notes now. You see, I've already said the most. You didn't write notes when I said they won't outfriend me. That's more important than what I'm going to put on the board right now. But see, anything that's skill related, we want to take notes. Anything that's really inspiration related, that really matters, we don't. Don't worry, our group's the same way. It's not just you. First day, this is what I did, ladies and gentlemen. Work. Why? I knew. Remember I told you I got to believe much bigger, much faster. I only set 2 income goals or 3 income goals. Set 3 income goals since I started. My first goal was my first week. My first week's goal was to make $70,000 my first week. Yes, $70,000 was my first week's income goal. I missed it, didn't make it. Made $25,830. But it didn't matter. That was my goal. My second goal, 18-month goal, $250,000 a month. Missed that one too. Hit $249,000.
A month. $249,000 a month. Did you hear him?
Why? Your business should be predictable. This is a business. I know my business. You got to know your company and your business. I know my business, and it's just as predictable as Exxon knows how much sales of oil they're going to do in the year 2015, and it hasn't come yet. But if you ask any of the executives, they can tell you with a small margin of error what the results are going to be, because there are certain things that cause a certain effect in the business. You got to figure that out for your company, but it is predictable. You can't be out there, well, I'm just going to throw enough mud on the wall until it sticks. It doesn't work that way. Eric talked about the 90-day game plan. It's predictable. What are you going to get done in 90 days? This is what I did. Day one, I called.
All right, so for the sake of time. So when I went and saw him last week, the man said he spent, I don't know if he said it was 5 years in a previous company, and he only made $1,500. Now listen to me. This man said he spent like 5 years in this other company, and he only made $1,500, but it was the best experience of his life because he was around individuals who were pouring into him. He said it was the greatest training that he had received. The individuals in the other company were preparing him to do $100 million in the next company. So it didn't even matter about how much money he made in the first company, because what he was getting, what he was there to get, wasn't the money then. That's the thing that most of us don't get. There's something that you're supposed to be getting right now through the grind. There's something that you're supposed to be getting right now through the planning, through the preparation, through the pain, through the straight place, narrow way experience. And most people give up in the midst of the narrow way, straight place experience. If he had gave up in the other company because he had only made $1,500, you would not know him at all today. He kept going to meeting after meeting. He kept going to training after training. And in every training, he was getting better. And every time he got around these other individuals, and they probably was making bread, but he was getting sharper. And then when the opportunity presented itself, and when the proper door was open, he was able to run and not faint. Most people will not run the race of endurance to win the prize. Now we back in the word again. Paul said, I run like one who is going to attain the prize. The race is not given to the swift or to the strong, but to he who endures. Endures what? The Creator said in the beginning, through pain. Oh, through pain. Through thorns and thistles, Adam, you going to swim through thorns. You going to eat, bruh. You're going to eat. You still going to be a producer. I'm not hitting you with the curse of Cain, but through pain, homie. Oh, Eve, through pain. You can't run from the pain. You got to run through the pain. And you got to sustain running through the pain. No matter how many times you got to continue until he says, well done, my good and faithful. So now here we are. A year after I told my son, yo, it's a dude out here on the internet. For a young man, 20 years old, if you learn this at 2021 and you just get the mentality down, son. Oh, we're going to change the world in your generation. If you could get this mentality, this is all I was trying to get my son to understand. And just approach whatever opportunity come his way with this mentality and his work ethic. And then here a year later, the man himself is coming with another business opportunity. And I done already trained my son to run. Now my pop's here about to launch a book. And yo, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all. This family right here, we serious about breaking cycles. We serious about removing all excuses. We serious about just competing. I'm tired of seeing them artificially prop up Jeff Bezos of Amazon. Jeff Bezos is propped up. They propped him up in business. But his real thing is, he is the parakeet for the Washington Post. Come on, you cannot own a media outlet without being the innermost inner circle that's propped up. And people run around here talking about Jeff Bezos. Oh yeah, he's a success. That ain't success. That's artificial. That's not success. Grow up in Trenton, New Jersey. Then go to Chicago, Illinois and break chains. Then go to the deepest, darkest hoods of Orlando, Florida. Then go to Haiti. And they had a nerve to go out to Africa and send your kids to Jamaica. That's being fruitful and multiplying. And we trying to let y'all know, this ain't no individual sport. Every last one of our households supposed to be like this. Every last one of our relationships supposed to be tip-top. Because 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 shall fall at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thy dwelling. The only way for that to be fulfilled in your life is to be in the secret place. He that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. You can't even get in the Almighty's presence without properly getting clean. You can't even get in. And our problem is, everybody is preaching, everybody is Bible studying, but ain't nobody. Pharisees preach. Pharisees went into the synagogue and Pharisees got, your house is left to you desolate. And I'm trying to tell y'all. I've been trying to tell y'all. Listen, the reason he said go to the highways and the byways and bid them come is because there ain't no Pharisees in the highways and the byways. The reason he said go out to the alleyway, because these fake phony Christians is not in the alley. The people gonna finish the work. It's not the ones you worshiping with every day. I'm trying to tell y'all, you can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expect a different result. It ain't gonna happen. And the only reason why doors keep opening and people just keep, I can't tell you how many, listen, historic landmark ministries have been given to our family in the past 5 years. They like, listen, I know you gonna listen. If you gonna keep doing what you doing here, take this. I'm 96 years old. I need you to take this international prison ministry that I've been doing for 56 years here. Update it. Like that don't happen, yo. And that's all because we said we will not be beholden to the federal government. We won't be beholden to the General Conference of Seventh-day Adventists. We won't be beholden to nothing, because won't nothing get the glory. The only thing that will get the glory off of the work that we do is the Most High for opening every single door. And if y'all want to run like that, this the time to do it. Because it's about to be all out battle of Armageddon. It's about to be all out 4 winds of strife. And if you don't do the preparation that Hezekiah did before the Syrian army came and surrounded Jerusalem, if you do not do the preparation, then you will be hauled off like the 10 tribes of Israel was hauled off. But because Hezekiah led all of the people in Judah and Benjamin through a process, through a sanctification, preparation process, and then he went in the temple and stood before and fell down before God and dared God not to move, dared God not to acknowledge. It don't happen no other way. It does not happen going into them churches. That is not how Hezekiah did it. That ain't how Daniel did it. That ain't how Joseph did it. You cannot show me this spiritual model that they are putting out here to you. You know it ain't God's model, because every single last individual who was ever plugged into God's covenant was financially blessed beyond measure. The only time God's people are paupers is when they are enslaved. I don't care what your spiritual fold you in. If when you go home and you park your car and your community looks like 97% of our communities, the spiritual covenant with God is not intact. From the top down. And he said, I'm the same yesterday, today, and forever. I am God, I change not. So the blessings of my covenant that spilled down on Noah should be spilling down on this generation. That spilled down on Job should be spilling down on this generation. That spilled down on Jacob. That spilled down on Joseph. That spilled down on David. They are lying to you. And until the people wake up, this ain't my daddy's generation no more. This ain't their generation. It was Joseph's responsibility, because the mantle was passed to him. The first fruit blessing was passed to Joseph. And it was Joseph's responsibility to endure the trials, and he did. And when he passed all of the tests, then he brought his daddy and his family into the prosperity. This ain't them conference presidents generation. This ain't their age group. Jacob ain't had nothing to do with nothing. None of the trials Joseph went through. Jacob had to sit back and hope and pray that the training that he invested in that boy came to fruition. And they did. That's all my dad and their generation can do now. All they can hope and pray for is that, the rest of this generation follow the lead. I'm telling you, we about to go to this promised land. It's Exodus time. It's time for y'all to get your houses in order. Sweep them clean. Time to put the blood over the doorposts. Because Pharaoh and them is planning, scheming to attack Goshen, to attack your firstborn. Pharaoh of today, the Pope and all his Mystery Babylon, the great mother of harlots, every spiritual other denomination that is in league with Pope Francis right now, they all scheming right now. Talking about, look how many of it is of them over there. If they take up spiritual arms against us, it's a wrap. We need to keep them in spiritual bondage. We need to keep getting them following us as we sacrifice them and their children and their leaders. And only way to win is to stand on the covenant, stand on the principles, show up every day like we're a football team and run through these plays and run through these drills. Then when we get on the field and the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords calls out the play, execute. Perfect love cast out all fear. He that dwelleth in the secret place shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. David said, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. It don't matter once we do the work. So I'm letting y'all know we coming. Trenton, New Jersey, Pine Forest, Pennsylvania this weekend. But if y'all want to tap in, we could do something online. I got these DVDs and these videos for sale. And we want our community to take them and distribute them like the seeds of autumn to all of y'all loved ones who need economic empowerment, who need blueprints for relationship principles that can bring families together, and then financial blueprints that can help heal the generational curses of poverty. And then we can challenge each and every household. Then, once you meet those needs, then you can call them to the mount of God to worship God. That was the command to Noah. Go tell Pharaoh, let my people go so that they can worship me. Break the chains of bondage. Plunder Egypt. Take the wealth of Babylon and Rome with you when you exit and come and worship me. That's what we on, y'all. Let's go. Peace.